Yes, there is some difference between Trump and Harris, perhaps not as much as most people would like to say. Certainly, Harris is fashioning herself as a feminist in this election campaign. She is, for example, making her support for abortion rights central to her campaign, even though obviously the Biden and Harris administration has failed to stop an historic attack on Roe versus Wade from taking place under their watch. The contrast with you is that you're actually standing on an all-women ticket with your vice presidential candidate, Karina Garcia. So what would a genuinely feminist US administration look like? And how important is the opposition to war within that framework?
It's very important. I think it's important to mention that, yeah, it very well could be that Harris is a feminist, but she's a certain type of feminist. Not all feminisms are cut the same, from the same cloth. There is US imperialist feminism, which is, the girl boss, all these different type of feminisms that are not necessarily there to be able to build solidarity amongst the class, that are not there to build solidarity amongst nations, that really don't care about the majority of women across the globe who are working class. And that's the type of feminism she's there for. She's there to represent the interests of the ruling class. And so our differences is very clear. Karina and I have been involved in struggle and in movement work from the grassroots to the national and international level, building with women that are working class women, with LGBTQ communities that are working class LGBTQ communities, that are interested in the most basic human needs and are very concerned with the protection and the sustainability of the planet. Two different things. We think that having an anti-imperialist, not only an anti-war foundation, but an anti-imperialist foundation to the feminist work is extremely necessary. Extremely necessary, because it means that we're not necessarily only standing against some wars. We stand against the genocide that's currently happening in Palestine, as we stand against the war drive of the United States against Russia and Ukraine. We stand against war towards China. We stand against the blockade on Cuba. We stand against the sanctions on Venezuela because it impacts women, children, families, and the planet. We care about life. And so for us, caring about life and protecting life as part of a feminist principle means being anti-imperialist. It means being anti-capitalist. It means being anti-patriarchal. Anti-patriarchal because we understand that patriarchy is inherent to the capitalist and imperialist systems. And I think that that is a huge difference. When Kamala Harris stands there with her $500,000 earrings, she does not relate to the majority of people that have to work close to 50, 60, 70 hours to be able to afford a 2-bedroom apartment. She's not speaking to us. We can't relate to her. The fact that we have such a limited option when it comes to childcare in this country, that it was the Biden-Harris administration that rolled back the child tax credit that lifted millions of children from poverty. It was them who did it. She was there, sitting shotgun next to Biden when that decision was made. She was also the prosecutor in California that criminalized mothers for children's truancy and inability to go to school without thinking for a second about the many different factors that could potentially influence a child from going to school. You criminalize the parent, and in many cases, mothers. And so she is not for the majority of women in this country or the majority of women across the globe. She represents specific class interests. And that to me, is not the feminism that we, neither myself or Karina or the party, are interested in lifting, because it does not respond to the needs of the majority of people.